Hi everyone, and an interesting video for you today. This is March 19th and the Scryer has been released. And the Scryer is a very complicated piece, and that's why you came here. I have answers and clarifications that might improve your game in this time of uncertainty to the point where you might be able to effectively use Scryer as well as counter Scryer. So let's get right into the juicy stuff. I have found a way to manipulate which enemy synergy will be taken into account. So if you're going against a Scryer, you may be able to pick which synergy they get to choose and thus the ability that the enemy Scryer has. This is going to be very useful in specific matchups such as mages versus a Scryer. Against mages, the Scryer has the electromagnetic pulse, which is a very good ability against mages. However, there is a way that you're able to give another ability to the enemy Scryer, leaving your mages in a better position. So, if you're playing mages, particularly 6 mages, what you're going to want to do is find another synergy that you could easily get 6 of as well. In this particular case, it would be human. So, where does predictive targeting come in here? Well, if you have 2 synergies with the same amount of pieces, you can use predictive targeting to make the Scryer target the humans rather than the mages. The way you do this is by having the human as the first and last pieces, assuming they're not also mages. This will force the enemy Scryer to pick the ability to go for the human synergy versus the electromagnetic pulse ability that's meant for the mages. So the rest is up to you. How do you use your Scryer? How do you go against the enemy Scryer? I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, so please let me know what you think would be the best strategy in the comment section below. Now, let's go into the more basic stuff about the Scryer. The Scryer's ability can take 7 different forms, and the way that the form is determined is a bit difficult. What that is that it's based on the highest activated tier of the enemy synergy. And this does make complications, and the reason being is that it's a bit vague. So I'll go over that in this video. The passive is a bit more simple, where it generates 10 mana per second, and then the first enemy piece with full mana gets silenced for 3 seconds. This could be a reason for concern for enemies that may have Pulse Staff on key units, such as Storm Shaman or Tortola Elder. And also for Dragon Knights, because when the round starts, they may be silenced immediately, just in time for the enemy Storm Shaman to further silence them, leading to an ultimately useless Dragon Knight. So let's quickly go over the abilities. So, for Mage, Shaman, and Divinity, we have Electromagnetic Pulse. What this does is that it burns mana, deals magic damage after a few seconds of delay in a target area. We assume the target is chosen randomly, thus following predictive targeting. The next one is for Warrior, Cave Clan, and Goblin, where 2 pets are summoned and they deal damage that's quite moderate, nothing special, but they reduce base armor, which is quite valuable for compositions that deal physical damage. Next we have Blood Surge, which is an attack speed and attack damage steroid, which targets a random ally. Moving on, we have Sonic Attack, and what this does is the Scryer fires a linear attack that targets a random enemy following predictive targeting, and it will damage them and then disarm them for a short time. This one's acquired when you have Hunter, Assassin, or Glacier as the enemy's highest synergy. Next we have Earth's Fury. What this is a linear attack that targets a random enemy target following predictive targeting, and it will reduce their attack speed while doing damage. This one's acquired when the enemy has Beast, Feathered, or Demon as their highest activated synergy. Quite confused as to why Demon's included here, because it does say in the stats or the ability description that it must have at least 3 pieces, where Demon is a synergy that requires only 1. Interesting. And what Tornado does is that it summons a tornado in a linear direction following predictive targeting, knocking up enemies and suspending them up in the air. They are immune to damage when they're in the air, however they take damage when they return to the ground after a short duration. Bolt of Lightning is an interesting one, where it targets a random enemy target following predictive targeting, and it deals pure damage by a set amount. The pure damage is then distributed evenly across enemies in a general vicinity, meaning that it will do more damage if a target is isolated, or less damage if there's many targets within a short confined area. This one's given if the enemy's main synergies are Knight, Human, or Egersis. Next, why don't we talk about the Scryer's story? She's a 20-year-old bird. Okay, moving on.